Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn, and I'm glad you're here. If you're a returning viewer, thank you. I really appreciate you. If you are new, this is a little different than my normal video, but hey, if you like it, click thumbs up, subscribe, whatever floats your boat, my darling. All right, today I have for you, I wanted to do a comparison since we closed down our stores, JOANN's. I wanted to say, okay, what we have left physically available for us to go drive to, which most of us have these three things. Most of us don't, some of us don't have all three things. But, so since JOANN's closed, we have brick and mortar stores accessible to most of us is Walmart, Michael's, and Hobby Lobby. So, without getting into the drama that some of these companies inevitably cause to come up, I wanted to see, because I have been hearing rumors that these three places are upping their game, that they are stocking their yarn and fabric sections better because JOANN is gone. All right, we'll see. Join me back at the end and tell me what you think in the comments below. I will come back at the end and tell you what I think. Although I think as you watch the video, you'll see what my opinion is, but you never know. You never know. So, without further ado, let's get into that. Okay, here we are at Hobby Lobby. Let's go in. Now we're going to see if they have upped their game in any way. Let's see. Well, I see a lot of different little things here, and I'm not seeing where they have well, yes, they kind of have upped their notions game. They have all kind of different little things. Hobby Lobby might surprise me in this trip. Can't argue with it. And here we are going into our licensed fabrics. Team licensed fabrics, I mean. And then I see some fleece, some minky, and then lots more fleece coming up. It doesn't look any more grown than the last time I was here, which has been a long time, mind you. Now, I did come across a stabilizer here, and they do have the type that I use. See some cotton batting, some polyfoam, some polyfill. I'm actually looking for something here, and there we go. There it is. I was looking for to see if they had any of the poly lofty batting. And then I see this wrap and snap. We had some of this come in at my store, and I didn't get any because I didn't think at the time I would use it. But you know, hindsight is 20/20, as they say. I'll have to ask if that's at 30% off. Now here, we're going into what used to be just the plain solid colors. It doesn't look like it's grown, but it looks like they may have changed out some stuff. Oh, Lordy, you know what I see. Chickens! But that thing is on there. So, we're going to leave this thing. Yeah, it's not going to come off. Nope, it's on there. It is pretty, though. Look at those different little chickens. All right. At this point, I realize I'm going to have to do this voiceover. Because the music that they've got so loud. Look at those butterflies. Look at those pretty little flowers. So I do see some different stuff that I have never seen. Now, I see it. I'm headed toward it. There's my chickens. Ooh, those pretty little butterflies. I love those. The monarchs. So beautiful. Now here is mostly solids. The Konas. You can't argue with a good solid Kona. I'm just saying. Alright. I'm going to go around here. I was trying not to move too fast. Make anybody sick. But I seen that little thing on the end and I was wondering if I was going to see any panels that they carry. I didn't see any right off the bat. But there's some pretty little colors. I'm not seeing a huge uptick in the space changing, but got a lot of different variety now. Oh, I picked the I seen that from the one I ordered online. So it's good that my local store actually has it. I'm already scoping some that I want, but I'm gonna try to get my comparison done. Try to, restrain myself. And apparently I can't drive a buggy either. Oh, mercy. Oh, look at those pretty flowers. Oh, now that's gorgeous. I don't know what I would use that for, but I love the colors. Now, there's some ethnic fabrics there, and then there's the southwestern fabrics, and look at the batiks. Ooh, mercy. Batiks, but they only had a few. And then we come around to the flannel. Side note, they don't have a whole huge selection of flannel. But, if I am going through these fabrics too fast, you can slow the speed down. Ooh, look at them butterflies. Ah, but you can slow the speed down. Some more daisies. Yeah, I might have to get that. And that sunflower. Y'all saw that one I did for my daughter-in-law. I love those two combinations. Alright, we got some serious button game going. I don't know what their buttons look like before. But I could be wrong. Look at all that binding selection. I don't know what that was on the bottom of that. Wow. Now see, I have never looked at their ribbon selection. Bees! But I don't do things with ribbons, so I never looked at it. Mickey and Minnie's and daisies and all kind of different stuff. But it would be good for anybody who does hair bows and stuff like that. Yep. And yeah, I'm sure y'all would come up with 1,000 different ways to use this stuff. Sorry, I'm moving a little fast here, y'all. Now, they have a good trim section there. Now, if I am going too fast, you still might have to slow it down because trying to walk slow in that store was not happening. Now, if you want some felt, there was some felt right there. Now, here comes more of a different assortment there. They got cotton canvas. And then on the other side, I'm sorry, the tulle, the mesh, you know, that kind of thing. I didn't mean to yawn in y'all's ear, I'm sorry. Now here we have some satin or sateen, some costume material, some velour, velvety looking stuff. I mean, not the selection we had, but you know, I guess it's not bad for Hobby Lobby. Huh. Now, we have some sheer fabric, and then we have more of the satiny look. I don't know. I didn't look at the composite. I didn't look at the label to see what it was. Now look at the gauze. I want... Ooh. That is pretty. I like that. That might go a little green. If it had a little bit more blue tone, it wouldn't be so bad. I see some denim. I think that's some linen right there. Oh, it is. It's some quilters. It's a whole little assortment in that little area. I don't know what they're doing there. And apparently I still can't drive that buggy. Of course, if I wasn't recording, I probably could have drove it a little better. But there was some seasonal cotton right there. Plain Jane cotton. I'm sorry, broadcloth. My words aren't working tonight. That's what I get for trying to do a voiceover at 9 o'clock at night. Got some rib knit. Got some regular knits, printed knits. Not shabby. I was looking for linen. There they are. Well, actually, there's some seersucker. However y'all say that. I don't know. I mess myself up every time I try to say that word. But they also had... they didn't have 100% cotton. They had just the linen blends. Some poplin. And then some more quilters cotton up front. I mean, they didn't do bad. They haven't... Uh-oh. Farm stuff. Farm print. I like that. Don't know if I'd ever get it, but I like it. They're not doing horribly in the fabric department. Ooh. On my way to the yarn, see what I found. I found me some pre-cuts. Now this caught my attention. It's not huge, but you know, $1.49, it's not focusing, but yeah, $1.49 for those fat quarters is not bad. And it's not 30% off. Ooh, look at there. You know what? Look at this. I am going to have to get some of that. Ooh. Look at them chickens. You know me and chickens. Yeah, I couldn't help it. Had to get it. I mean, let's face it. I don't show a whole lot of restraint. And see, now look. Oh, found some Highland cows. Look at that. Ha 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 ha. I thought of you, Marie. Mm-hmm. Look at them sunflowers. My daughter-in-law would love those. Butterflies, Highland cows, sunflowers. Okay, here we go. DMC, the embroidery stuff. It kind of looks like the same stock that they've always had. But I don't know because I never really looked at that kind. So if you do want to do it, slow it down because I kind of zoomed through that part and I'm sorry. But if you are interested in that, by all means, slow it down. And I'm about to whip it around here, and if I went too fast, I'm sorry. Oh, that's the crochet thread that I use for my loom, and then the stuff that I did for my little butterflies. And I was actually trying to find a certain color, and I don't remember which one I needed. See, these say $1.99, and I swore the labels on mine said $2.99. I don't know. Look at that hand painted or hand dyed. I did get some 100% merino on one of their clearance. Back in 19, I think. I think I got them for like $3, but $6.99 is not bad for that. $16.99, sorry. But those had some pretty colors. Look at that blue up there. Ooh, mercy. I think it was like 2019. That was very, very thin chenille type. Now that is more similar to Posh. I would love to find that light brown for a squirrel. Y'all know me and my squirrels. I would like to try something like that for a little bit bigger version of that one I did. Now, I don't really see anything that they've expanded. And here we go. Here's all the cotton. You know me and my cotton. Look at that pretty color. The only thing I can say is I'm glad the yarn was not on 30% off this week. Okay? That would make a beautiful bandana though. Called Eastern Nova. I will have to make a note to myself that I need to go back to get that. And then the Crafter's Secret. That's equivalent to Lily Sugar and Cream, but a little bit less. Now, the ones... Now, that's the kind of Woo-Boo yarn. Now, Cinnamon Stitches said those particular ones on the bottom aren't very good, the kits. So, but the ones on top apparently are very, very good for amigurumi. I don't know. I don't use it. That is some soft stuff. I do love Baby Bee. I did make something. Oh, excuse me. In the Baby Bee line, and it was nice. I do like it. See, the problem with Hobby Lobby for me is it's almost exclusively Crafter Secret. It's all Hobby Lobby yarn. It's their house brands. So now I have used that Scrubology. That stuff is wonderful if you want some little scrubbies for your kitchen. Oh, I love that color. Like that one, and that one. And they have a little rainbow one too. I really like that one. That was pretty. Rainbow Bridge. Yep, I like that. I mean, I have had some. I love this yarn, but not much. But look at that blue and purple mix. Oh, I don't know. I have to keep control of myself. I think. Sorry. I think I've only used I Love This Yarn once, maybe. And there's some more cotton. I think that's some bamboo. No, the stuff on top I think is the bamboo. Up top, well, I haven't looked up yet. I mean, that's a blend of with the metallic strips in there. Yeah, there's the bamboo. I knew I'd seen bamboo. Now that was some pretty soft stuff. I've not tried it yet, but I have felt softer combos of the cotton and bamboo. And here's some more cotton. I love this cotton on this aisle too. I don't know why they separated them. Now, this is what shocked me. I didn't expect them to have Lion Brand, but they did have a small selection up there. That's that string, that mandala, I don't know. And then some more Crafter Secret. But this time it's the acrylic. Now, I did a beautiful corner-to-corner Grafkin unicorn in that. It was gorgeous. I mean, it's a good value acrylic for hardiness. Now, I went back down here. I just wanted to kind of give y'all another broad look at that aisle. Alright, as you can see, the 30% off is now their sale price, not 40% off. Okay, now we're heading into Michael's, so let's go. Okay, the first thing I noticed when I came in was the Experience Center was completely bare. Now, I talked to an associate and she said that Singer decided to pull the Experience Center out of all of the stores that they were doing beta testing in. And she was really surprised because it was a very big thing at this new store. She said that she didn't know if they were going to ever pull it back or not. She did say that they were going to miss it. Now, I did see a couple Singer machines, but nothing along the scope that they had the previous time I was in the store. So we shall see. Now, their Notions, it about doubled in the size. I mean, it wasn't overly extensive, but it definitely has improved on the selections. I was actually very, very shocked. As I come around here, I saw that material all sloppy and hanging off. I'm like, oh, that kind of takes me back to work. But now, like I said on the Notions that they had doubled it, their fabric, when they first reopened in Aiken, this Michaels only had half of an aisle. That was it. And as you're going to see, we're going to expand and see what now. Yeah. That kind of made me laugh. But since Michaels bought out JOANN's intellectual property, I'm not surprised they put that in there. Just saying. Now, I have seen and heard some people don't like the Michaels fabric. Some people love it. Some people think it's low quality. Some people think it's great. You know, it's hit or miss with everybody. But just like anything else, everybody has their opinion on what is what. Now, I was kind of, that muslin, I need to get me some of that because of my dressmaking and patterning when I want to try out a different fabric. Now, what I was going to say is they didn't have a very big selection of 108-inch quilt backing material, which I was very surprised because they had so much quilting cotton. Why wouldn't they have a better selection of the backing fabric for such thing? And I was trying to get down low enough to see it, and honestly, okay, so basically what I did is I tried to pause it. All right, chickens. All right, now I basically just turned up this other aisle, and we are going to start heading out. Oh, look at those those chilies. Those are chilies. They had a really good selection. I am pleasantly surprised. There's a couple things that caught my eye over here, like that rainbow stars. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous, and the flowers. And we have some sewing print. I'm getting discombobulated here. Now, I do see some butterflies and some ladybugs. Oh, look at the cute little ladybugs. Now, I'm really enjoying this. You know what? I gotta get some of this. I didn't even wait. I'm like, yep. Look at that. Little flowers, too. I love it. I'm getting this. I do see a little thinness, but that's okay. We've already established that I can do stabilizer and liner. I'm not sweating that. Now, look at all those purples and blues. Oh my gosh. Look at them batiks. Actually, they had a lot more batiks than I expected. As I'm looking, there's quite a bigger selection than I thought. They have a bigger selection of batiks than Hobby Lobby. But look at those. Cows. Am I fascinated? Yes. Am I ridiculous? Yes. Now, one drawback is you do have to go to the framing counter to get your fabric cut. Look at them chickens. Everybody has these chickens. Everybody. I'm not arguing. That means it's wider available for that. Because I have plans for those chickens. I'm not even gonna lie. Definitely have plans for those chickens. Now, I do like, oh, look at the kitties. Oh my gosh, aren't they adorable? Okay, yeah. Would you not like, oh, yeah, I gotta get it. But would you not think that was adorable? I think it's adorable. I see some ladybugs in there on that yellow print, on that yellow fabric. Oh, mercy, I see butterflies. I see butterflies everywhere. I see flowers everywhere. Oh, see? Butterflies. I see some flamingos right there, too. Look at them tie-dyes. Ugh. Rainbow, and then the butterflies. I told y'all I seen a lot of butterflies. And I can't help when I see butterflies. Now, I was kind of impressed with that display of, whatchamacallit. That was the same one as at Hobby Lobby. Now, this one right here is, I believe, broadcloth. Yeah, it's broadcloth. But they got some beautiful colors. And for broadcloth, that's not bad. I mean, I personally use 100% cotton. I don't use the broadcloth because it has the polyester in it, but I think that's right? And they have some, oh, hold on. Wait, oh. Is that broadcloth still? Oh no, okay, so this is like their economy line. I think it's like $2.99 a yard. Yeah, $2.99 a yard. See, kind of like the kind we had at JOANN's, but got felt. That looks like linen. No, that's woven muslin. Woven muslin. Can you tell I'm starting to get tired? This is my second store, and it's like, oh, look at the fleece. Very little bit of minky, not much. Gauzy with glitter and net, tulle, that kind of gauze, or you know what I mean. Some velour. Wait. Look, we got some sparkles and stuff. Look at there. But they've definitely got a bigger selection of apparel type material. I saw some satin back there, some denim. Ooh, look at I think they have knit. Yep, they do have knit up there. And then they have the plain solid knits. Okay. See, I bought some of this at work, but this is a spandex. I don't want spandex. I'd rather have 100% cotton knit, like I made that dress out of. And look, there's some rib knit. I wouldn't mind doing one in rib knit, but we'll see. Oh, look at there. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Now, that's what I got at work. So, I got to keep a note to myself that I can actually get some of the 100% cotton knit if I want to do a two-tone dress in that McCall's 7349. Alright, now we're getting into licensed fabric. Their selection of licensed fabric blew me away, honestly. And I thought Hobby Lobby had licensed fabric. No. Michael's has them beat. And I see several that I want to get. My fingers are just itching. Look at all that Disney, man. And it's so funny because that Disney fireworks that Kim loved so much, and Brandy bought all 3 of those. Michael's doesn't have it now. Yeah, Adrian would recognize that with Snoopy and Woodstock dancing. See, there's that Mickey with fireworks again. But they have a very decent... Yeah, see that right there? It says, if you need assistance for cutting, see the framing department. I think that's redonkulous. Now we have some team. We have a lot more team cotton. So if y'all see any of that and you want something made, let me know. They have a decent little button selection, but I don't know. Hobby Lobby might have them beat on buttons. And then they have the cotton thread. Very small selection of pre-cuts right there, but here's the pre-cut prints, which still not a huge selection. I was very shocked. But now they gave about as much section as Hobby Lobby did to pre-cuts. I don't know what this material is. I mean, I know it's like a mesh type, but not a clue. What would you use that for anyway? I don't know. I think that's pleather right up top. Maybe a little bit on the bottom. Some definitely cotton canvas. And my fingers itch for those sometimes, but I always resist. Now, it flipped us really fast. Okay, so this right here is on clearance. And I should have gotten some. I really should have. But, yeah. I was amazed at how cheap this was. And I found out as we get further down the thing, but they got a lot of loops and thread stuff that they're clearancing out. I mean, I was wondering why they were clearancing them out. Were they trying to get rid of them? And the answer came as I was looking. They're replacing it with Polyfill. The Polyfill brand. So I think that's why they had it on clearance. Oh, at least I know they have that. The price is atrocious, but I wonder if they have coupons that would work for that. Sorry, I got a little fast on that. That was the DMC embroidery. They have a really good selection there. I'm actually shocked. Alright, now, here we go with the yarn. Now, I think they had like 3 aisles the last time I was in here. So it looks like they might have kind of up their game a little bit. But most of this aisle is loops and thread. If not all of this entire aisle was loops and thread. Which is, you know, everybody knows that's their brand. Now, I couldn't understand why they had the embroidery stuff separated from the DMC floss thread. They got all that over here, but yet they have the floss there. So I didn't understand. And then the kits are in the middle, so make that make sense to me. They have punch needle. They have embroidery. Oh, look at that one. That is gorgeous. And, oh, I seen another one. Look at them butterflies. Look at that moon. Now that, yep, see it? These are just things that catch my eye. Now, there's cross stitch, and I think we even have some latch hook. There's some needle felting, and some needle felting, some robing for the needle felting, and then some felt. Are those the latch hooks? Yeah, those are latch hooks down there. And you, Lord knows, you gonna have the hot lights for us blind people. Macrame. And there's some more yarn. Okay, there is loops and threads, but I think there's, oh yeah, there's Karen, Simply Soft. I'm not sure. Alright, so we're going to go down that area in a minute, but here we're going into their chenille section. Other blanket yarn. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to yawn on y'all's ear. I told y'all it was late when I'm trying to do this voiceover. Look at there. Lion Brand. Ice cream yarn. Why did I move away from that? Oh, because I was actually looking for the Cozy Cub and the Posh Pearl. Posh and Pearl, Pearl and Posh, or whatever Michael's version of Big Twist Posh. But look, they have Pound of Love. They have the ice cream right there that we had saw a second ago. Now, their Lion Brand selection actually shocked me. I didn't expect them to have that much. Of course, it's going back into loops and threads, but I was like, huh. Alright. I'm already better impressed. Okay, now, here we go. There's the cotton. This is what I was telling y'all about the Lily Sugar and Cream. This is Lily Sugar and Cream. Look, that was the lime color. That is Sunset Ombre in ours. But let me see what they call that in loops and threads. Vintage Floral Ombre. Yeah. Almost every color I see there is a dupe. Well, it is. Oh, and that's Strawberry in Lily Sugar and Cream. I had it upside down. Hold on. Seashell Ombre. I see Moon Dance. Yep. But they call it, let's see, what are they calling that one? And these are only 2.5 ounce balls. Pool Party Ombre. Yeah. Hogwash. $2.99 for 2.5 ounces. I'll have to compute that. Because that, I'm trying to think. The 4 ounce supersize ball was $4.49 regular price. And then we got some patents. Those are good for knitted knockers. That's what I used to use. And then we have Lion Brand 24/7 cotton. That's good to see them. And then some more loops and thread. I mean, yeah. But we have more Lion Brand right here too. I'm not a huge fan of the woolies, but they have it. At least it's an option rather. Let's see what we got going. Oh, yeah, it's going back to loops and thread. They do have a little bit more. Oh, look, sock yarn. Okay, now I have several of these sock yarns. That one, that's Ocean Stripes, I think. No, Coastal Stripes. I actually have 2 pairs of that. I have that. That one's socks. I have the gray. I think I might have that one too. I have to look. I can't remember. Even when I was filming this, I said I was going to check and I forgot. Of course I did. Alright, so I had to go to the next. Okay, so look now. Michaels has an agreement with Yarnspirations for most of the Caron cakes. Some of them are definitely exclusive just to Michaels. I think the cinnamon swirls are definitely exclusive. The Perfect Phase, no, we had that at work. The macchiato cakes, that might be exclusive. Now here they have Caron 1 pound, yay. And then Loops and Threads version. So it's like they had. I don't like the fact that their brand is the same as Caron in price. Red Heart and Loops and Thread. I mean, Loops and Threads is 50 cents cheaper on that one, but more Red Heart version of or Loops and Threads version of Red Heart. Now they do have the granny squares, and then I think they have Flower Power. Yep. Ah, look at this storage. That's a convenient use of space. $11.99 for that. That's redonkulous. And then they have some Loops and Threads amigurumi. I think Jennifer at Cinnamon Stitches tried these too. I can't remember if she said it was the cheap polyester yarn. I can't remember, y'all. Go check her channel out. She'll tell you. And I mean, I think we're running at the very, very end of their main part of the yarn, but then they have some more blanket yarn in the back that I'm going to head back and show you. They have looms, crochet hooks, knitting needles. So, not bad. I see some pom-pom makers there. And some single straight needles instead of just circulars. Now, here's where we were getting into that blanket yarn. I'm not a huge person of blanket yarn, but I wanted to give y'all a good view. Now, we'll see. I mean, it's not bad. Oh, I see some Forever Fleece, it looks like, over there. And then we have clearance. Oh, and I thought this might be where I would find the Cozy Cub or the Posh Pearl. I've never used this, but hey. There you go. If y'all need some of this stuff, $5. You can't beat it. And that stuff was surprisingly soft. Now, this is a bit bulkier. It goes super bulky, and then it goes super thin, and then bulky. The organization is not there. There really isn't. But I did want to find some of the Posh Pearl for my little squirrel. I hope to find the Posh Pearl somewhere, because I really want to try to make that squirrel. Okay, this is the first Walmart that is in my town. They're not... Looking down this aisle, it's not changed. this is what my Walmart on the south side of town has always looked like. Is I don't see any of that yarn having expanded at all. That's not to say that they might not in the future. I'm just saying that as of the moment, they don't have it in stock in an expansion. Their notions are still pretty much running the same way. I will give Hobby Lobby and Michaels a little bit of a better solution because you can get them for discounted prices with sales and coupons. Most of the stuff at Walmart is not going to change prices. Now, as I come around here, we're looking at some fleece. Not a huge selection of it, but not bad. We do have bolted fabric here, not a lot, but if you find something, good luck finding an associate to cut it for you. You'd be doing better to go ahead and turn with me and go with your pre-cuts, because let me tell you, they have, now used to be they only had the fat quarters, but they have definitely impressed me with the expansion on this. They have a lot more 1 yard pre-cuts of printed fabric, and then they have for solids, they don't have anything bigger right now for printed fabric between beyond a yard, I believe. The 2, 3, and 4 yard is more solid colors, but when you're looking at quilting cotton, you do want to print in a contrasting or complementary solid color, right? You don't need all just prints. But if you had to ask me, I would tell you that they have definitely surpassed what JOANN's pre-cut used to be. And that's coming from a diehard JOANN customer and employee. So take that the way you will. Now, they do have some cotton batting. They have some stabilizer. Not a huge selection of it, but, enough to probably get you by. They have pillow forms. They have polyfill. They have sewing machines. Not a huge thing, but, it is Walmart. Now, the poly cotton, which is the polyester cotton blend, they do have bigger cuts of that. And then they have some burlap, and they have flannel. So it's not that horrible if that's what you're looking for. And I was actually hoping that this Walmart was going to expand on their notions. Their thread's really not that bad, but all of this is just the same. They haven't changed it. So we're about to head on to our next Walmart. So this is the one on the other side of town. And I'm not hoping a whole lot. And I was probably right. Now, they do have... Okay, to be fair, the ribbon selection isn't bad. It's about the same as the other Walmart. Now, their thread was definitely smaller. There's only that one section right there, and that was it of the thread. So not a whole lot in the notions area either. Sorry, I had to cut it right there. There was a customer. So I had to wait for them to move on by. But the notions at the other Walmart was by far more superior than this one. Now, all the jewelry making stuff, yeah. Now, they did have a couple sewing machines here. Again, much reduced. And I was very, very upset. Because I knew that the selection wasn't as much here, but this is it. This is all the pre-cut. 2 4-foot sections. So 8 feet of pre-cut. That's it. But look at them chickens. Nope. Nope. Stop looking at chickens, Lynn. That's what I was telling myself. I didn't need to look at chickens. But yeah, that was it as far as fabric. And yarn, they've actually reduced their yarn because it used to be a lot more. The whole aisle used to be that, and now it's less than half of a half, or half of one side of the row of the aisle. Yeah, very discouraging. This Walmart obviously didn't get the memo if they were supposed to be expanding their yarn and fabric section to mimic or to take advantage of the fact that JOANN had closed. But, you know, and look at that little bitty embroidery section. Sad. That's just sad. Now, I was going to try to find some more cloth, but I found this instead. Now, we have several different little things. We have the diamond dots, or diamond dot. And we have different ones. We have needle felting, we have some embroidery, we have cross stitch, and I think there was latch hook at the very bottom. I can't remember. I think that was latch hook down there. But yeah, that was it. And then we had, now they do have, for those of you who scrapbook and do paper crafting, that's newer because I don't ever remember seeing that much stuff for like scrapbooking and paper crafting. But they also had coming up, they have Cricut, the vinyl, the machines, some of the cutting mats and stuff. So maybe that's why they haven't expanded the yarn and fabric, because maybe they're trying to mimic JOANN's and give a lot more crafts. And then we have some more cotton right there. But maybe they're trying to give more attention to the other crafts. We'll see. Okay. You heard me while I was doing all of that filming. You saw what I saw. Now, to be fair, it is more of a personal opinion in some instance. I'm trying this for the first time. I'm not sure I like it. Usually I do flavored water, but I thought this would remind me more of the carbonation, the slight carbonation of my Celsius energy drinks. This is my first one and I've only drank this much. But when I first opened it, it was so carbonated, it hurt. So I drank a little bit and then shook it really, really hard. And it is more palatable since I did that. But anyway, okay, so let's take them in order. Hobby Lobby. I have not been shopping Hobby Lobby much. When Michael's used to be in our town, and I had this one hair. Cheesy Pete. Hold on, y'all. This is, you know what? I don't need that hair anyway. It was getting on my nerves. So, when I look at this, in my town, we've always had Walmart. Hobby Lobby's been here, and Michael's used to be here, almost right beside where Hobby Lobby is. But I guess they couldn't handle the competition of Hobby Lobby or something. I don't know. that Michael's closed down, and we didn't have, for over a decade or more, we did not have a Michael's in Aiken. Well, about a year and a half ago, I think that's about right. No, it might have been a year ago, because I think it was June or July. And it hasn't been 2 years, I don't think. I could be wrong. But I'm thinking it's been a year that they brought Michael's back on the south side of town. Now, if you don't know, on the south side of town, which our south side of town is the ritzy, high-end, and that's where all the businesses want to go. You know, because the golf clubs are out there and all that stuff. The horse tracks and, yeah. So apparently in Aiken, south side is where you want to be. Anyway, if you're a business. But now they were on south side before, but they were a little further down the main stretch. Now they're kind of off to the side of the main stretch, but still in a very high profile area. So, Hobby Lobby. My issue, and I said in the video, with their yarn is that I saw one off-brand, or not house brand, and that was Lion brand Mandala strings, whatever, however you say that word. I always say mandala. I do that for that word across the board, and that's probably wrong, but that's me, and that's my little southernness to it. But anyway, but mainly it's Yarn Bee, I Love This Cotton, and Crafter's Secret, which is all, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is all Hobby Lobby brands, right? I'm pretty sure Crafter's Secret is, but I'm not 100% on that one. Yarn Bee and I Love This Cotton, yes, I know those are exclusively a Hobby Lobby brand. But anyway, their fabric impressed me so much more than their yarn did. And I will show you, I did do some purchasing on these mini trips. Well, it was one big chunk of time out of a day, so it was technically one trip to town, but I made mini stops. How about that? And I'll share that in the next video. But Hobby Lobby definitely changed up some of their offerings. Not in the yarn department, though they did have those amigurumi kits. Now, Jennifer at Cinnamon Stitches said the ones like on the bottom they're crappy polyester type yarn, so they're not worth the money. But the ones that were hanging on top, they had the Wooble style yarn. Now the Wooble style yarn, which is called beginner yarn, basically almost everywhere, that was on the very bottom shelf, but some of the kits up top had that. So if you want to check that out, I would definitely give that a go. She recommends it. I'm not a huge amigurumi person. I do want to find some posh yarn so that I can make a squirrel in that, because I do have velvet yarn, Bernat velvet, but I only have it in steel gray kind of color. And while that would be cute, our eastern gray squirrels are not that gray. They're grayish brown. So, and I'd like to, you know, have something that closely depicts it. It doesn't have to. But anyway, squirrel moment again. Talking about squirrels. But anyway, so Hobby Lobby, I would say, out of all three of them, I was more impressed with them in the regard of, no, I can't even say that. I am impressed that they upped their game. I'm disappointed that they have went to 30% off fabric now instead of 40. That's a blow. But there are prints there that I will get exclusively, or I will get from them because I can get them cheaper on the, well, I could have gotten them cheaper on the 40% off. I don't know about the 30%. I'll have to kind of play it by ear on that one. But that doesn't mean I won't get fabric from them, because I will. I'm going to utilize, because, you know, if I like the feel of the fabric and the quality that I feel, I'm going to get it. Hands down. And if I can get a discounted fabric, I will do that. Handy, quick, just run to town and grab it, I will do that. Michaels, they've grown the most. My Michaels has. And I know this is going to be different no matter, or for everybody who watches this video, because not all stores are created equal, even in the same franchise. We all know this. Look at how many variations JOANN's had. From crappy stores to bougie stores. I mean, it did the whole range of the gambit, the whole gambit of that. What am I trying to say, y'all? Spectrum. The whole spectrum. So, same thing with Hobby Lobby, Walmart, and Michaels. My Walmarts were the biggest disappointment. They have drastically scaled down our Walmart's yarn. And I knew the fabric. Okay, so from one side of town, you saw it, to the other side of town, my fabric choices went from not very bad. I mean, for Walmart. It is still less than it used to be. But the Southside Walmart was, you know, it still had selections that, you know. And then this one little 4-foot section at the other side of town. Again, I think that's because Southside is bougie and, yeah, whatever. Northside gets ignored. But, I don't know. I mean, I don't think, if you were to ask me to rate who did better, showing that they're going to capitalize on JOANN closing, I would say Michaels. And the irony of that is they bought all of JOANN's intellectual property. Now, I did hear whispers and rumors back when we were going through our liquidations and closing and everything, that there were rumors that Michaels was headed that way. We'll see. Michaels has had, you know, a up and down history, so we'll see. I do think that I was impressed with how much they've grown in both their fabric and their yarn at my local Michaels. I would like to see what Augusta has to offer as far as, I always look at Walmart. I always look at their fabric and yarn sections no matter which town I go to, because I go to those more than I go to Michaels or Hobby Lobby in other towns. So, but Augusta has a decent Hobby Lobby. I might have to go refresh myself now that we've actually closed, because I went into the local Hobby Lobby in Augusta to get my Georgia fabric way before we closed. So I'd be interested to see if they've upped their game any. And again, the Augusta Michaels. So, and then I want to hit Columbia. And I don't have to do all of this, and I probably won't take y'all along. I might. I don't know. It's very awkward trying to film, and if you will see, the orientation of me filming was straight up and down, so I could kind of do it without being obvious about it. So I probably should have filmed this stuff in that orientation too, but oops. Oops. Anyway, on that, leave me your opinions down below. Have you went to these places in your local town? Have you seen anybody up in their game or uptaking, increasing their fabric or yarn department, or basically trying to say, hey, we're aware that you have a hole in your shopping. We're going to fill that. So I'd love to know. And it will be interesting to see the replies to this video, because I want to see what's out there. Now, I'm not talking online purchasing. And yes, I know you can purchase both of those places online. Actually, all three of those places online. And you would have better options. But this is what's in your local store, So that's what I wanted to show you, what was in my local store. I'd love, some feedback on that one. I'm going to get off here. I tried to edit it down enough. I probably could have edited some of the stores down a little bit more, but I was trying to edit it myself. So, and I still don't know if y'all are going to see my version or my son's version. He might be able to chop it up a little bit more. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. I hope you find some joy in something that you do today, whether it is hanging out or not, or knitting or not. Any of the things that bring you happiness, I hope you find some joy today. Grab hold of it and don't let go. I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.